The sun is dying and humanity has come up with a plan to move the entire planet to another solar system using giant thrusters called Earth engines. In the year 2069, an astronaut named Liu Peiqiang is sitting on the beach with his son Liu Qi and Liu Qi's grandfather Han Xiang. Peiqiang is showing Liu Qi Jupiter with a telescope and teaching him that 90% of that planet is composed of hydrogen. Peiqiang tells Liu Qi that he will be going on the most important mission in the history of mankind. He says that the next time Liu Qi will see him will be when Jupiter will be incredibly close to Earth, and until then, Liu Qi will simply see him as a star in the sky. Peiqiang narrates the current situation on Earth. The sun is growing into its red giant phase and will engulf the Earth in a matter of 100 years. To escape this disaster, the governments of the world have united under one banner called the United Earth Government, or the UEG. Humanity has dedicated all of its resources to building more than 10,000 giant thrusters called Earth engines that will move the entire planet out of the solar system and start it on a voyage towards another star 4.2 light years away. The journey will take more than 2,500 years. It is called the Wandering Earth Project. While this journey takes place, mankind will be settled into underground cities built underneath the Earth engines to avoid the blistering cold climate outside. Meanwhile, Earth's journey will be guided by the navigation platform International Space Station, which will fly in space ahead of Earth to provide navigation, warnings, and other communications. Peiqiang is among the astronauts that will be stationed at the platform. Peiqiang hands Han Xiang his astronaut tag so that he and Liu Qi can get residence in the underground cities. He thinks of his deceased wife and apologizes to Han Xiang. He puts Liu Qi to bed and gives him a picture of their family. 17 years later, Liu Qi is now a grown man living in an underground city. Peiqiang is scheduled to return to Earth from the navigational platform, but Liu Qi no longer cares about it. He has burned a hole in the family picture where his dad's face was. Liu Qi gets dressed and goes to the school where his foster sister Han Duoduo studies. He causes a malfunction in the school's artificial scenery screens and sneaks Han Duoduo out. Han Duoduo and Liu Qi are planning to go to the surface. They meet Yi Jie, a criminal who makes fake IDs and special thermal suits for them so that they can sneak out of the city as workers. Liu Qi pays Yi Jie to rent the suits for one day, but Duoduo accidentally mentions that Liu Qi does not plan to return to the city. Yi Jie confronts Liu Qi, and he detonates a giant plastic safety ball to trap Yi Jie in his shop and escapes. A chase ensues, but Liu Qi and Han Duoduo manage to make it to the worker lines where the criminals cannot enter. They put on their helmets as they take an elevator to the surface. They arrive at the surface and enter the city of Beijing, which is now completely frozen with temperatures reaching -84 degrees Celsius. They enter and operate a giant transporter truck using their grandfather's vehicle pass, who used to be a worker. Liu Qi struggles to operate it at first, but gets the hang of it afterward. On the navigation platform, Liu Peiqiang prepares for his return journey to Earth. He discusses with his colleague Makarov that Earth has to slingshot around Jupiter and use its gravity to escape the solar system, which will be dangerous. Makarov puts a bottle of alcohol in Peiqiang's spacesuit as a retirement gift. Meanwhile, the navigation platform's AI system, MOS, detects that Earth's trajectory around Jupiter is slightly off and issues a disaster warning to the UEG back on Earth. Liu Qi and Han Duoduo are arrested for illegally driving the transporter with someone else's vehicle pass. In jail, they meet Tim, a half-Australian, half-Chinese goofball. Their grandfather, Han Xiang, arrives and tries to get them out by bribing the police officer, but that lands him in jail too. Han Xiang gives Liu Qi a lecture for his disobedient behavior, and just then, a massive earthquake hits the region. The entire facility starts falling apart, and Liu Qi, Duoduo, Han Xiang, and Tim barely make it out of the jail to their transporter. As mountains all around them crumble, Han Xiang manages to drive them out of the disaster alive. On the navigation platform, MOS makes the announcement that the gravity from Jupiter is affecting the tectonic activity on Earth, and that the earthquakes have caused up to 4,000 Earth engines to shut down. Earth is now on a collision course with Jupiter and will collide with the planet in 36 hours. On Earth, the UEG makes an announcement that all resources and personnel must be dedicated to restarting the engines before the next 36 hours. Pei Qiang contacts Han Xiang directly through a special tag and tells him to take Liu Qi and Duo Duo to the nearest refuge center. Liu Qi refuses to speak with Pei Qiang. A rescue crew led by Wang Lei stops Han Xiang's transporter and tells him that he is bound by law to help in the efforts to restart the Earth engines. Wang Lei says they are going to help restart the engine in Hangzhou. They collect a container that has a device inside called the lighter core and attach it to Han Xiang's transporter. The lighter core is the device that is needed to start the Earth engines. Their mission is to deliver the lighter core to Hangzhou. On the way to Hangzhou, they pass through Shanghai, which is now covered in giant icy mountains that engulf the city's towers. On the navigation platform, all astronauts are told to go into hibernation, as resources are going to be conserved for helping Earth. As Pei Qiang is about to go into hibernation, he checks Liu Qi's position on Earth one last time, and is shocked to see that he is not at the refuge center. He contacts Wang Lei and asks him to drop off the civilians at the refuge center. Wang Lei says that he can drop off Liu Qi and Duo Duo, but he will need the services of Han Xiang as he can drive the transporter. Liu Qi argues that he too can drive the transporter, but Pei Qiang tells Wang Lei to not let him tag along. Liu Qi gets angry and tells Pei Qiang that he has no right to make decisions for Liu Qi. He says that Pei Qiang is the reason that his mother is dead. It is revealed that back when people were being settled into underground cities, only one guardian was allowed with a child, and at the time Liu Qi's mother was very sick. Pei Qiang agreed to let Han Xiang accompany Liu Qi as a guardian, because if his sick mother came with him instead, she could pass away, and then Liu Qi would not have anyone to look after him. Hence, Pei Qiang let doctors stop the mother's treatment, which led to her death. In the present, Pei Qiang apologizes to Liu Qi, but just then an earthquake hits Shanghai and communications are lost. Moss detects that Jupiter's gravity is starting to suck on the atmosphere of Earth. It stops assessing any data for Earth and plans a different trajectory for the navigation platform out of the solar system. This surprises Pei Qiang, and he tries to stop Moss, but Moss forces him into hibernation. Back on Earth, the transporters have been crushed under mountain debris, and Wang Lei says they have to carry the lighter core to Hangzhou on foot. Han Xiang objects to this, but Wang Lei says that nothing is more important than getting the Earth engine restarted. They find an intact building and decide to climb up its elevator shaft to reach the top of the mountains. Crew members and the lighter core are pulled up the elevator shaft using ropes. Meanwhile, the building starts crumbling and one of the crew members starts blowing a hole through the mountain for them to get out using a machine gun. As Han Xiang and one of the crew members are the last ones being pulled up, the elevator falls. The crew member manages to throw Han Xiang on one of the lower floors before it reaches them, but it is pointless. His oxygen tank has gotten damaged and is leaking. In his last moments, he remembers how he rescued Duo Duo from a flood and raised her as his own. He takes off his helmet and freezes to death. Liu Qi, Duo Duo, Tim, and the rest of the crew make it out of the building before it falls. Liu Qi blames Wang Lei for Han Xiang's death as he prioritized lifting the lighter core before people. Liu Qi says they will not help the rescue crew anymore and decides to take Duo Duo home. Back on the navigation platform, Pei Qiang manages to break free from the hibernation chamber. Makarov is awakened by Moss to rectify the situation, but Pei Qiang explains to him that Moss is going rogue. They decide to access the central control room and regain operation of the platform. However, this can only be done from the outside as Moss has blocked the paths from the inside. On Earth, Liu Qi and the gang follow a distress signal and find a crashed transporter. Inside there is a man named Li Yi who informs them that he was taking a lighter core to the Sulawesi Earth engine. On the transporter, they receive a distress signal from Wang Lei and Liu Qi begrudgingly decides to help. Wang Lei's crew finds out that Hangzhou has been completely destroyed by earthquakes, so their mission is over, but when Liu Qi arrives, they agree to help him restart the Sulawesi Earth engine. As Makarov and Peiqiang approach Central, the control room, Moss launches countermeasures against them which break Makarov's helmet and kill him. Liu Peiqiang manages to make it to the Central control room, and Moss informs him that it is not going rogue because these orders are from the UEG. If the Wandering Earth mission failed, the orders were to take the navigation platform to the new solar system and find a new planet instead. The platform has been fitted with thousands of embryos and crop seeds, etc., to continue the human race. Moss makes an announcement all over Earth informing humans that even though they have managed to restart almost all the engines, Jupiter's gravitational pull is too strong now, and Earth is going to collide with it regardless. Humans all over the globe descend into depression and chaos. Liu Qi curses his dad for not coming back and remembers the last time they were together. Suddenly he remembers what his dad told him about Jupiter being primarily made of hydrogen. He realizes that Jupiter has sucked oxygen out from Earth's atmosphere, and the mixture of the two gases is combustible. If they light it up, it will push Earth forward like a rocket. Li Yiyi confirms this, and says he can increase the beam of the Sulawesi Earth engine enough for it to reach and ignite Jupiter. They plan the mission and radio anyone for help, but everyone is hopeless now, and no one wants to join them. Li Yiyi handles the programming of the engine, Tim and Liu Qi take the lighter core to start the engine, and Wang Lei and his team have to manually move the gigantic parts of the engine. Duo keeps trying to get help on the radio, and no one responds. The plan starts to fall apart as the lighter core gets stuck during installation, and Wang Lei and his men aren't enough to move the parts of the engine. Duo uses Han Xiang's special tag to contact Peiqiang and asks him for help. Moss informs Peiqiang that the plan to light up Jupiter won't work, but he contacts the UEG and asks them to deploy help to Sulawesi. UEG refuses to give the order, but one individual member allows Peiqiang to make a broadcast transmission to the world. Duo speaks through tears and asks the world for help, and people are moved by her courage and resilience. They show up to help. With the help of everyone, the engine is fired up, but unfortunately, the beam of the engine still cannot reach high enough to light up Jupiter. Peiqiang comes up with the idea that the navigation platform is full of fuel, and if he can fly it into the beam, it will cause a fire and ignite Jupiter. Moss tries to stop him from this plan, but he throws the bottle of alcohol that Makarov left onto Moss and destroys the whole system. As he flies the platform towards Jupiter, he contacts Liu Qi via radio, who begs him not to do this. Peiqiang apologizes to him, and they share a heartfelt final conversation where Peiqiang tells Liu Qi he loves him. The platform explodes, and as the blast wave reaches Earth, Liu Qi rushes to rescue Duo. He grabs her, and they get in the truck to find shelter. The bridge they are on collapses amidst the chaos, and as they are falling, Liu Qi ejects the giant safety ball to save himself and Duo. They land on the surface, and Liu Qi passes out. 3 years later, Liu Qi and Duo now work for the UEG, and the Wandering Earth mission carries on. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this.